it's about saying, look, you've got a choice, and you need to think about it. I've been in the game long enough to know too that lots of people want to do something and they're just uncertain about what it is that they can do. And some people, it's got to be said, they want to be kind at people rather than for people. And I make this point only because it's a point that's been made to me when I've sat in on forums where homeless and formerly homeless people tell you about their experience, that, you know, they're thinking, I've got not another sandwich, please. I don't need one. I don't need another cup of coffee. And, you know, if I was to say what I've learned from that is that, and I know a lot of people just do this instinctively, it's always best to ask somebody what it is that they want. In terms of the standard thing, which is, you know, I need to raise, the rate has gone up, Matt. It was, the last time I looked, it was £18 a night for this fictitious hostel, but you seem to be implying it's gone up to £25 a night, which yeah,
I saw one for £25 the other day. Yeah.
Well, you know, we're in the middle of an unprecedented inflationary spiral, at least unprecedented for those who are not as old as I am. And yeah, 2025, that's probably working on the basis that we're looking at something like about 8 or 9% inflation at the moment. But the truth is, to get into a Cambridge hostel, you don't need to spend a penny. You can claim your housing benefit, and all Cambridge hostels will ask anybody who's coming in to complete a housing benefit form. Not everybody is eligible for housing benefit, but there is still no hostel in Cambridge that will have some formidable person standing at the door saying, sorry mate, there's no coming in for you. I want to see the colour of your money, your £25. That just isn't the case. So whenever you see that, somebody is not telling you the truth. And I think that we haven't been as blunt and as clear about that as actually saying, you know, this is a bit of a con. We are likely to be increasingly doing so, because the other counter narrative that we're needing to work on is the idea that the number of people that you see on the street is directly related to cuts in council or central government spending. And one thing that I can say to you, you know, without making any kind of any gesture of any kind in the direction of anything that is political, and particularly partly political, but the truth is that since the introduction of something called the Rough Sleeper Initiative, which we're about to enter next year into the 5th year of, there has been an absolutely unprecedented amount of money, public money, that has been put into dealing with rough sleeping in pursuit of the government's objective. The initial objective was that we would see the end of rough sleeping by 2027. This was launched in 2017. With half the 2017 count halved within 5 years and then eliminated within 10 to 2027. But the target has since been made more exacting, because the government's current plan is that we will end rough sleeping by the end of this current parliament, which by my reckoning is 2024, if anybody knows differently. So we brought forward that particular target. Last year, the City Council, through the Rough Sleeper Initiative, gained, just in round figures, £500,000 additional money. This isn't a substitute for money that we've had. This is brand new money. £500,000 to spend on the Rough Sleeper initiative. We've just put in our bid for the next 3 years, and that's above £500,000 for each of the next 3 years. And we think there's a good chance of getting that. I've also personally put in a bid for £1.7 million to central government for something that we call the Rough Sleeper accommodation programme. That was in this current year, and that too has been accepted, which will allow us to go out and buy accommodation. We're going to buy 14 one-bedroom flats. We bought 8 so far, specifically for rough sleepers. As Chris Jenkin on the call will no doubt verify, maybe might say something about it later. There are 6 modular homes specifically for rough sleepers or people with a history of rough sleeping up at the top of Newmarket Road on the Christ the Redeemer site. And the council with Jimmy and Hill, our development partner, when we're building more council houses, has secured another 16 modular homes. So there's 22 modular homes in the city with more planned. So I think all of these things, and you know, I could go on, and you'll be highly relieved that I'm not going to go on. I think if there's folk here that you know maybe coming to this meeting from a commercial, you know, not as people working directly with rough sleepers. You may be, and I'd be interested to hear whether or not you are. You may be surprised to hear of the amount of work that has actually gone on within to try to deal with rough sleeping. And I'd say it doesn't touch the surface what I've just selected out, but it would be wrong of me not to mention that it takes a city who has called us together for this, is currently running a 20-bed hostel over the winter, so from November until the end of this month, night after night for people who would otherwise be rough sleeping, in a brand new venture for us, which we're hoping to replicate in 4 years. So you know, you probably hopefully have drawn the conclusion from this that there are a whole range of reasons why people have no need to be sitting in a doorway or your doorways if you run a business asking for money, and that we understand what those reasons are, and we need to be working better to make sure that those reasons are better understood and themselves better addressed, because they are not necessarily anything much to do with homelessness. And the one message that I would just ask people to consider is, before they you know, we use the word homeless to describe the phenomenon that you might see today in Pettigrew, say, for example, that we just take a little bit of a deep breath and just sort of think about, you know, whether it is actually homelessness or whether it's about something else actually, which is much more complex, because homelessness as such is something that we can actually do and do a hell of a lot to be able to ameliorate, which is why you never see, for example, a family on the street or a woman with a child on the street. You know, that's all the stuff that's in the background. Anyway, apologies, Matt, because I've taken far more than, as you probably would have guessed, the time that was allotted to me, but I hope it's been worth just overrunning in